Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SoFlo Josh and we're here with the 2025 Toyota 4Runner SR5 for y'all. With that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Carlos Cornieles that works at BMW of South Miami for allowing me to film this vehicle. If you guys are interested in purchasing any BMW whatsoever, go ahead and contact him. He'll be able to assist you. So underneath the hood lies the company's 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder producing 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque straight through an 8-speed automatic transmission to either all four wheels via a part-time four-wheel drive system, or you can get this model in rear-wheel drive only. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the overall styling. This is the 6th generation 4Runner, which honestly, I love the overall styling ever since it got revealed. Let's talk about the design aspects of this model. So up at the front, we get a completely new front end design that mimics a little bit of what you find in the Toyota Tacoma, but we have a little bit different. So over here at the bottom section of the grille, as you see, we have that wraparound with the paint color that goes around the middle section where airflow does go through. We do have LED lights on either side. And then below that, we do have this air dam, which many people actually are gonna be removing. Carlos actually told me that he's gonna end up removing this as well once he gets bigger tires for this model. We do have some tow hooks on either side, which is gonna be great for whenever you go off-roading. As I mentioned as well, we do have Toyota's Safety Sense 3.0 over here. So this is gonna be for your lane departure warning, as well as your forward mitigation and pre-collision warning system right there. We do have your Toyota logo right over here, compared to that what you'd find in maybe a TRD Pro, where it has the Toyota heritage script that spells Toyota across. Very nice flat black design. This is actually gonna last a little bit longer than what you'd find in a gloss black material with this version right here, which is also nice to see. As you see, wrapping around over here to the side, we have LED projector lights right here that actually can be height adjustable for the projector system. And then we have your turn signals in incandescent bulb. Some people I've seen have actually added LED bulbs for this model, but when you get to the higher trims, you do get LED lighting for the turn signal and everything else like that. But it's very nice to see that we have projector lights that are full LED and actually can be adjustable as well. Now over here, we do have the 4Runner badging right incorporated into this housing right here. And then over here to the side, as you see, we do have the side fenders finish in the black plastic cladding, which is also a nice thing because when it comes to the higher trims like the TRD Pro model, not so much the Trail Hunter version, we actually have a gloss black material for that one, which is actually not really good because what happens is that gloss black material is not going to be easy to get any like scratches and stuff, or even take out the scratches. But with this, it's a little bit nicer to have that, especially given the fact that this is a rugged SUV. We do have some air vents that go through here to add some air curtains around the wheel sections. And over here, we do have these regular tires right here, which are not full-on off-road capable, but like I mentioned, Carlos is gonna be adding that in. They are the 17-inch wheels, so they're gonna have like a gunmetal gray finish to them. And I think they look pretty good. You know, it's not bad. He said he's gonna keep these wheels and then add maybe a 33-inch tires to this model, which is very, very nice for an SR5. And then looking at the overall side profile, as you see, we have some nice body lines that are going on in the front fender, as well as the rear fender. With the way that Toyota kind of sculpted it a little bit, it kind of gives it a more bubble effect. And this is really good because this is gonna help with overall aerodynamics around this side fender area. And then we do have the wraparound rear quarter window, which is a callback to the first generation as well as the second generation of the 4Runner. I love this whole entire design that they went ahead and did that. We got SR5 badging right here, and then we got that same black plastic cladding that goes around this section. The door handles are gonna finish in that same material. The front door handles are actually gonna be proximity sensor door handles. The rear won't be. And then we have the black plastic cladding around here as well. And they do have your blind spot detection incorporated in there. We do get roof rails. Even though this is an SR5, we still get roof rails for this model. And then wrapping it back here, as you see, we have full LED tail lights. So they're going to be full LED. Your brake lights, your turn signals, as well as your reverse lights are all going to be incorporated into there. We got the Toyota badging right here, the script. We also have the rear roll down window right here. So It does roll down to easily access into the rear cargo area. We get your rear wiper blade that's actually tucked underneath, just like the 5th generation. Let's go ahead and close up the window again. So as you see, you press that button and it will automatically roll up for this model. 4Runner badging down below, finishing that same matte black design. And then we have a flat back design for the lower section of the bumper. It does come with a Toyota hitch right over here that has a cover that has the Toyota script across, and then that's where your outlet exhaust is going to be at for this model. But the overall rear end design looks really good. I like the way they sculpted boiler section, so it has kind of like a little indentation to have some airflow that goes across for better aerodynamics and overall efficiency. Now mind you, this is a body on frame truck, so you won't be finding too much efficiency. But let's go ahead and open up the trunk. As you see, this isn't the power tailgate one. I believe you have to go for the premium models to get a power tailgate for this model, but the SR5 doesn't have a premium anymore. And as you see, you have a ton of overall cargo space back here. Lots of storage areas. Since this model does have an optional 3rd row that you can get, they have these sections off to the side where, you know, people would put maybe their bottled waters or even some snacks. You even have foam molly panels right over here off to the side. And you can, of course, get optional tonneau cover to go ahead and cover up the rear section. But this is exactly what it looks like. And down below here, not too much space, nothing's really covering underneath there. Now, if you go for, you know, a Toyota, I think it's the off-road premium with the hybrid or the off-road package, TRD, it does have the battery system incorporated into here, so your cargo space is going to actually be eaten up compared to this one with the non-hybrid powertrain, which is actually a huge benefit. Even though this is the base model, we do get LED lighting on either side. We also get a 12 volt back here to go ahead and do some other stuff, little cubby space. And then over here, if we open up, as you see, we do have your jack as well as other things to help out whenever you need to hire up this vehicle. But tons of overall cargo space in this rear section of the 4Runner. Now getting over here to the rear passenger area. So opening up the door, pretty simple, straightforward. Not too heavy door, which is very nice to see. We do have hard plastic all over the top portion, as well as this midsection. We do get some soft padding right here where your elbow will be resting. Nice little grab handle with a little bit of a grip section. You have your window switch gear as well as your door release, and a place to put your bottled water or anything else, and some foam molly panels, speaker grill, some section to put some stuff in. Now, these seats are with the cloth material, so they have almost the same material as what you'd find in a base version of a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. So it's gonna have that same exact material, which I'm really happy because when I tested a base version of an SR5, the seats did not feel that good. These actually feel really nice. They have a lot of play to them, very soft and plush to it. Now to go ahead and lower the back system right here for the seat, as you see, whenever you do that, it will fold and then tilt forward to go ahead and get into the rear if you had the 3rd rows. That's why the Toyota went ahead and incorporated that. But lowering that down right there, putting this back up, it does have recline for the seats right here, which is also a huge benefit for this model. And you have ISOFIX, which you can easily see that is what a baby seat would look like, and that's what the rear legroom would look like. Now over here you do have a passenger grab handle to get into the rear. And then sitting behind myself right here at 5'10", I actually have a pretty good amount of overall legroom space, and probably about 1.5 inches in overall legroom space. We do get some rear air vents. I'm really happy to see that Toyota went ahead and incorporate that, and 2 USB Type-Cs. And then we also have more drinkware right over here, which is another huge benefit for this model. But these seats feel very good and plush, like the overall dimensions for it. Now we don't have a sunroof in this model, so the headroom wise it's actually going to be a lot more. So I have probably about 4 inches of overall legroom headroom space because of the fact that the seat is all the way leaning back. Now if I were to go ahead and put it straight up tall, I have less, you know, about 2.5 overall headroom space. But it's very nice sitting back here. And let's go ahead and actually close the rear door. So closing the rear door, as you see, solid sounding thunk when it comes to doing that. So opening up the door right here, as you see, it does have that proximity sensor. We have hard touch plastic at the top because this, like I said, this is the base version. If you go up the higher trims, you will get some softer material, hard plastic as well here, and then some soft padding right here where your elbow will go ahead and rest. Nice grab handle, window switch gear, as well as your door unlock, the mirror control right here as well. Got your door handle release, faux MOLLE panels right here to go ahead and add some, maybe like a first aid kit or anything like that. And we have large sections to put drinks and some snacks as well. Speaker grill, and then your seats are over here. So even though this is a fully manual seat, there is one thing about this model that does come power. So it does have lumbar control. So this will have forward and back lumbar control. It doesn't have the four-way like you'd find in the higher trims, but overall this is actually a pretty nice thing to see for this model. Now getting inside of this 4Runner, let's go ahead and turn it on. It is very hot over here in Miami, as many of you know, and so sitting over here, it livens up. Right in the middle, as you see right there, we do have a 7-inch digital gauge cluster with two LED backlit designs for your fuel gauge as well as your temperature gauge. Right over here we do have the 8-inch touchscreen display for this model. Since I said that this model doesn't have an optional premium package, you can't get the larger 14-inch screen, but I'm sure there's a way to go ahead and add it. If you went to the dealership, bought it, and you could put it into this vehicle, I'm sure you can go ahead and do that. Steering wheel wise, this is the exact same steering wheel you'd find across the board when it comes to all of the 4Runners. Well, there's a little bit of different materials, but this one has a nice 9-3 grip area, large area right here for your horn. Very nice horn, by the way. And then you have your switches right here for your control of your phone, as well as over here you will find your whole entire cruise control activation as well, where it keeps it in the lane. You could take your hands off the steering wheel, which is really nice to see in a base model vehicle. Off to the side right here, you do have that section where you can go ahead and adjust the actual height of the headlights, which is a very nice thing to see that they added into this model. You have your brightness control for your gauges over here, your fuel release door, and then also automatic headlights, as well as your traction control off disable button right there. But talking about the overall interior in the middle section, so putting it into reverse, as you see, it does come up. It has the trajectory as well as lines, so you can be able to see that. You can change the overall way that the camera looks at like a panoramic view, or have it in its normal view, which is pretty nice to see. Putting it in park, once you put it into park, it will automatically apply your emergency parking brake, which is going to be over here. You have an auto hold function. This is going to be your four-wheel drive, your part-time four-wheel drive control. So you have a 4 low, 4 high, as well as a 2 high. So right now we have a 2 high. The only time you're ever going to use 4 low or 4 high is whenever you're properly going off-roading. Since this model is a part-time four-wheel drive system, you never want to use any of these two buttons right here off to the left when you're driving on pavement, because it will actually mess up the four-wheel drive transfer case. So do not do that. You have a tow haul mode right there. Since we do have the tow hitch at the rear, this is going to be your drive mode. So when you put into drive modes, you have eco, normal, and sport. So all those three right there. And then your tow haul mode is going to be a little bit different. As you see, it's just going to be one section as well. Down here, if you were to get the higher trims, you will actually have some physical buttons for like a stabilizer disconnect and other stuff that other models do incorporate. Over here we do have some phone holders, so you'll be able to lay your phones flat on either side, so you'll be able to put two phones, two USB Type-Cs right there. Physical buttons right here for your climate control. You have a 1-zone climate control, so you'll be able to change up the fan speed and your temperature right here. Very nice to see that we have physical buttons instead of it being incorporated into the touchscreen. I'm very happy to see that, Toyota. But continuing on over here in the middle, we do have some large cup holders. We have a center console area to go ahead and put some stuff in. And then opening over here, we do have a damped and lined, not actually lined with felt, glove compartment, a storage bin up here to go ahead and put your phone. And then this model does come with a speaker down the middle section as well. But sitting here, very nice. These seats do have the cover that he actually applied to them because he kind of rather have this leatherette style feel to them. But they still feel pretty good. They even hug you very well on either side of your upper torso section, so it's actually going to be very nice. And then the top section, as you can see, since this vehicle is built in Japan, it does have a nicer material at the top than what you would find in a Toyota Tacoma. Opening over here, as you see, it does have a mirror with LED lighting as well. You can actually put a credit card holder right over there. And opening over here, as you see, it doesn't go back, but it does have a partition that does cover up the side window area. So far with, you know, overall MPG that he's been getting, he usually drives mostly on the highway, so he's been averaging around 21 to 20.9, so it's actually not too bad for overall MPG, especially with this model. And he does have the air dam, remember that, and he doesn't have the large tires on this model, but once he does, it's probably going to decrease because you have a lot more mass in those tires, and then you don't have that air dam to help with overall efficiency. But nonetheless, it is a great interior space. I love the overall cubby space that you get in this model. You have a large grab handle right here to go ahead and hold on for those oh shit moments whenever you're going off-roading. And then you do have your lower for the rear window slider right here, which is pretty nice to see, and full LED dome lights as well with a sunglass holder, which is another benefit for this model. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take it out for a drive. All right, so let's go ahead and put it into drive, very straight down and forward, and let's see how this model overall performs. So underneath the hood, like I mentioned, is the 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that was first introduced in the 4th generation Tacoma, producing 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Now, all that power can either be sent to the rear-wheel drive version of this model, or you can get the part-time 4-wheel drive system, which comes with this SR5 right here. So let's go ahead and see how this model overall performs. I have test driven a Tacoma, as well as the updated Land Cruiser Prado 250 series, and I liked both of those with those 4 cylinders incorporated into them. And let's go ahead and see how this vehicle performs. So setting off is very straightforward, feels really good. There's a little bit of wheel spin that comes to the rear wheels, which is actually quite nice to see for a body on frame vehicle. Let's go ahead and actually put it into sport and take it down this road right here. So like I mentioned, this is a body on frame vehicle, so you are going to feel a little bit of weight going around these sections. So as you see, there is a little bit of body transition whenever you're going around these curves right here, but it feels really good. And honestly, it feels 10 times better than the Land Cruiser 250 series, the Prado, the all new one. I feel like that car just doesn't feel as good. It's a little too top heavy, and since it does have that, battery at the back, there's too much weight, even though there's higher performance that comes out of that model. But driving this one, it feels phenomenal. Like, you give it gas and it's going even in sport mode. And then like once we go over these bumps, you'll see it just handles them extremely well. You can actually hear a little bit of the turbo blow-off valve that's coming from this right side section. Now, mind you, if you go for one that comes with the snorkel off to the side, you'll hear a turbo blow-off valve, like absolutely crazy amount of turbo blow-off. I just love the fact that Toyota went ahead and kind of added a little bit of fun with this generation, because remember, the first generation Toyota 4Runner back then actually came with a turbo 4-cylinder when it first launched. After that, they started to add, the V6 model, then they went V8, and then they went down to V6 again, and then now we're back to the traditional version of what a 4Runner was. And honestly, I don't think that it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. This engine feels great, and the overall performance is phenomenal. Let's go ahead and take it around this bend. That 2.4 liter is just phenomenal, man. I've loved it ever since I test drove the Tacoma, and this just feels a lot better. This doesn't feel anything like what a Tacoma feels. This feels like it's its own thing. It's not so much of a truck-like feeling since you have that bed and you only have like the cabin space. This is, you know, you have a full SUV design for this model, and I really like the fact that Toyota went ahead and made it a little bit different compared to that of what you find in Tacoma. All right, so let's go ahead and take it around here and go back to South Dixie, giving it a little bit of gas. Oh my God, that's just phenomenal. I really love the application that they've done for this engine and the transmission. Really happy to see they went with an 8-speed automatic transmission, which was expected, but you never know when it comes to Toyota products. They remember the last generation, the third generation Tacoma, actually had the same exact V6 that was in the 4Runner, but had a 6-speed automatic transmission, while the 4Runner had a 5-speed automatic transmission. So you never know what Toyota could do when it comes to overall packaging for different models in its class. But now, since it rides on the TNGA-F platform, they've been able to kind of share a lot more parts with each other to reduce overall costs. So this one right here, as sitting, it comes in around $40,000, which is actually not too bad to get into a off-roading vehicle like this model right here. You know, like I said, you can do so much even with an SR5. You can add larger tires, you can add you can change the front area to add a winch, you can just do an enormous amount of things with a 4Runner because there is such a huge backing of aftermarket parts for this model. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I also want to give a huge shout out once again to Carlos Cornieles. If you guys are interested in purchasing any BMW in the future, make sure to go ahead and contact him. He'll be over here at BMW of South Miami. But I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.